Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today I wanted to talk about this question. What would happen to your anxiety if... Alright, I'll finish that sentence in a minute. So, gorgeous out, it's breezy, it's in the 60s, got a sweatshirt on. Honor the struggle. Alright. So, I'm gonna relax, take a couple breaths. Get a yawn out. Fall is almost here. I think the leaves are starting to change colors a little bit. Pretty soon they'll be all down on the ground. So, what would happen to your anxiety if you made this decision? What decision, Dan? The decision that anxiety is a passing state that need not be feared. That anxiety is just evidence that you've got anxious thinking going on, and that correlates to anxiety or adrenaline and cortisol, stress hormones in the body, which causes anxious thinking, or vice versa. The anxious thinking causes the adrenaline and cortisol. Now look, sometimes external things in life can get us amped up. And if we are in a highly vigilant state as far as our nervous system and our brain and our history in life says bad things happen, adrenaline and cortisol can get pumped up pretty quickly. It can be a thought, it can be a phone call, it could be a coworker looking at you sideways like you're doing something wrong, could be the thought of going somewhere, doing something. If you've got chronic pain, it could be the worry about how bad's today going to be. There's a lot of things that can, quote unquote, stress us out. And then when we feel that adrenaline and cortisol, a common reaction, I wouldn't say normal, a common reaction to a person who's in a highly vigilant state is, uh-oh, what's going on? Something dangerous is happening. And then we start thinking, and then we start doubting, and then we start fearing, and we start looking at our symptoms as if, what if this never goes away? And the thinking fuels the adrenaline and cortisol. The adrenaline and cortisol fuels the thinking. So what would happen to our anxiety if we made this decision? I don't have to fix my anxiety. Anxiety will go away when the brain feels safer. So instead of fighting your anxiety, a lot of people will wake up feeling anxious, and they'll begin fighting the anxiety and believing, I have to fix this because nothing is going to go right as long as I have this anxiety. And they can literally create anxiety attacks and panic attacks trying to get rid of anxiety, which is all counterproductive. I believe the best way to handle anxiety is, wow, I'm feeling this thing called anxiety. I'm okay. This is going to pass. And then we get on with our day. Now, I know a lot of people say it's crippling. I can't move. I can't do this. I can't do that. And I'm not talking about specifically symptoms, right? Because some people will say, well, if I get up and do this, I'm going to have higher symptoms. And that panics people. But what if you made a decision not to fuel anxiety with fear of anxiety? What would happen if you made the decision not to fuel the symptoms of perceived danger, pain, or symptoms with fear of the symptoms? Because again, perceived danger is the cause of anxiety and other symptoms. So what would happen if you made a decision to stop fueling the danger? I'm here to tell you, things can get better. They can get better faster. So ask yourself, are the things I am thinking, saying, doing, how am I behaving? Am I fueling the danger? Am I fueling the anxiety? Am I fighting the anxiety? There's that phrase that everybody hates, what we resist persists. And everybody goes, yeah, but anxiety, it's awful. Right. I get it. But what if you made a decision not to view it as this horrible thing, and just view it as a temporary state, which is fueled by fear. Conscious, subconscious. Again, sometimes in a highly vigilant person, you'll wake up first thing in the morning, and how does the brain wake you up? A little adrenaline and cortisol. And a highly vigilant brain will wake up and go, oh, what's that? Why am I anxious? It's our job to go, because I'm just waking up. And yesterday was pretty tough, so there's some fear there, but how can I have some fun today? Today's going to be a good day. Be playful with it. Dismiss the anxiety. But allow it. Accept it. Right? Allow it and accept it. And get on with your day. Because I can assure you, if you can shift your attention from the anxiety and fighting it and trying to fix it and trying to get rid of it and judging ourselves as failing because we wake up anxious or we have anxiety hit us in the middle of the day seemingly out of nowhere, when you're judging yourself as failing in life because you've got this anxious feeling and these anxious thoughts, I can assure you your day's going to be tougher. But when you engage your brain in something else other than fixing your anxiety, other than your symptoms, which anxiety is just one of, right? The source of anxiety is perceived danger. No different than any other pain or any other symptom. Anxiety is just another symptom. It's not the cause of the problem. It's the result of a brain perceiving danger. So what do? Engage the brain in something else. Jump to safety. You don't have to figure out, why am I so anxious? Brain's perceiving danger. What danger? How do I figure that out? Because I need to figure it out to stop it, right? No. Reassurance. I'm safe. I'm good. Nothing bad's going on. Today can be a good day. And I'm not going to fuel the anxiety with fear and focus and worry about the anxiety. Don't make yourself anxious because you're anxious. Don't fuel it. Don't fan the fire and make it grow bigger, trying to get rid of this thing called anxiety. Seriously, it's not that. I know a lot of people say, Dan, but you don't understand, my anxiety's crippling. Right, but what would happen if you made a decision not to fuel it anymore? That it's not this crippling thing. If you tell me my anxiety is crippling, what would happen if you decided that it didn't need to be? And that you could allow it to pass, reassure yourself, relax your body, allow yourself to breathe, smile, and know that today can still be a good day. Play with that. Experiment with that. See how it goes. Shift your attention to whatever you want to do or need to do for the day. I think that's a nice, simple, easy to implement approach to somebody who's experiencing this thing called anxiety. And if you've been given a label, a medical label, you've got general anxiety disorder, scrap that. Just a medical label for somebody who experiences anxiety regularly and has been told by a therapist, a mental health professional, you're broken. Here's a GAD diagnosis. Scrap it. Get the whiteboard marker out. Get rid of that. Because the label doesn't help you. It just makes you feel more broken. So what would happen if you made this decision? I'm experiencing anxiety, but it's not who I am. I'm experiencing anxiety, but it's not a big problem. It's a temporary state fueled by adrenaline and cortisol, which can get kicked up for many different reasons. And then the fearful thinking about the anxiety itself, fearful thinking about our other symptoms, fearful thinking about our life and what's going to happen if I don't get these things under control. What if this solution to all of that was conveying safety credibly by the way you think, act, behave? Be more playful, smile more, engage more in life, stop fixing so much. Hope that makes sense. So I'm going to wrap it up here, folks. I love you, as always, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.